Hey, if you're scrolling on your phone right now, maybe leading a team or making tech decisions for your company, stop for a second, because you might be walking directly into a trap. And honestly, it's one of the most counterintuitive traps in modern business. Look, we are all rushing to integrate AI into our workflows, right? We want to get smarter, faster, the whole shebang. But what if buying AI actually means giving away your company's smartest assets? Welcome to our explainer on a seriously fascinating concept recently articulated by Microsoft's Satya Nadella. It's called the reverse information paradox. Okay, let's dive into this. Are you paying for AI twice? You're probably thinking, no way. I just pay the monthly subscription or the enterprise license and we're good. But, well, that's just the monetary cost. The reality is, you're paying once with your budget and you're paying a second time with something infinitely more valuable, your proprietary knowledge. Think about it. Every single time you feed an AI your specific business context to make it actually useful for your company, you're basically handing over the keys to the kingdom.
Section 1. The AI Knowledge Trap. A New Paradigm.
To really understand how we got here, we kind of have to look back at economic history. We need to see how the traditional rules of buying and selling information have literally been turned completely upside down. So, back in 1962, Nobel Prize-winning economist Kenneth Arrow described what became known as Arrow's information paradox. He pointed out something really interesting. If you're selling a great idea, the buyer won't want to pay you until they know what the idea actually is. But the moment you tell them the idea so they can evaluate it, they already have it, right? They don't need to buy it anymore. In the old days, the seller was always the one at risk of giving away their knowledge for free. But look at how this flips today. In the age of artificial intelligence, Arrow's paradox is operating entirely in reverse. It's no longer the seller who's at risk. Actually, scratch that. The traditional risk is completely gone for them. Today, the buyer, that's you and your enterprise, risks giving away your hard-earned knowledge just to be able to use the product you just bought. Really think about that for a second. You are the customer, paying for a service, yet you are the one surrendering the value. And this right here creates the reverse information paradox. To make a large language model perform well for your specific business, you have to feed it your specific business knowledge. The better you want the model to perform, well, the more of your secret sauce you have to give it. Over time, this massive information asymmetry builds up. The AI vendor learns everything about how your company operates, while you learn absolutely nothing about what the vendor is learning from you.
Section 2. How Intelligence Leaks. Trace by Trace.
Now, you might be thinking, hold on, we have data protection policies. We aren't just uploading our source code or client lists directly to public models. And that's fair. But today's leakage is far more subtle than a massive data dump. And honestly, it's far more dangerous. Models don't just learn from huge files. They learn from your exhaust. Data exhaust is just the digital byproduct of your employees doing their daily jobs. It's the everyday, mundane interactions that seem totally harmless in isolation, but are incredibly revealing when you look at them in aggregate.
This exhaust is made up of everyday, normal things. The specific prompts your engineers write, the tools your sales agents string together, and most importantly, the corrections your team makes when the AI gets something wrong. Let's say the AI drafts a pitch, right? And your top salesperson tweaks it to sound way more persuasive based on their years of industry experience. Boom. That correction is instantly distilled into institutional know-how. But it doesn't just go into your institution. It goes straight into the learning loop of the model provider.
So the crucial point is this. Your competitive advantage is leaking almost imperceptibly, trace by trace, correction by correction, eval by eval. A competitor could never just go out and buy this kind of deep, contextual knowledge about how to run your business. But through the reverse information paradox, you are freely giving it away to the AI providers, and they're using it to make their baseline models smarter for everyone, including your competitors.
Section 3. The New Trust Boundary. Protecting Your Edge.
Okay, we have to stop the bleeding here. The old ways of securing data, they just aren't enough anymore. We need a complete paradigm shift in how we think about enterprise security and intellectual property. Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, absolutely nailed this mindset shift. He said that enterprise customers want control over their compute, their models, their data stack, and their alpha. Alpha meaning your unique edge. Technical leaders are realizing they need to own the means of production. They want an absolute guarantee that their specific edge isn't just being transferred over to someone else's servers. Let's put that into perspective. In the traditional cloud era, the goal was pretty simple. Enterprises needed to accumulate and protect static data. You essentially built a giant wall around your database.
But in the AI era, enterprises don't just accumulate data anymore, they accumulate learning. So your trust boundary has to evolve. It's no longer just about stopping a hacker from stealing a file. It is about protecting the very mechanisms through which your organization learns, adapts, and gets smarter over time.
Section 4, your continuous learning loop. The 5 C's framework. So how do we actually pull this off? Well, Satya Nadella outlined a really clear roadmap that every enterprise needs to adopt if they want to survive this paradox and retain ownership of their intelligence. It comes down to 5 steps: control, capability, choice, cost, and compound. These are the pillars of your new AI architecture. Let's walk through exactly what each of these means for your daily operations.
Step 1 is control. You absolutely must create your own private evaluations, or evals. An eval basically defines what a good output looks like inside your specific organization. You also have to retain absolute ownership of your organization's memory. That means the traces, the feedback, the decisions. Your AI's memory shouldn't live in some vendor's black box. It needs to live securely within your own four walls.
Step 2 is capability. You need to build proprietary learning environments entirely within your own tenant boundary. Think of this like a highly secure sandbox. It's a place where you can train or fine-tune models against your real, messy, complex enterprise workflows without ever exposing your company's core knowledge to the outside world. The learning has to stay in-house. Step 3 is choice. You have to ensure that your orchestration layer, that's the software managing your workflows, is completely decoupled from any single AI model. Just ask yourself, if your absolute favorite foundational model went offline tomorrow or they suddenly changed their terms of service, would all your internal AI tools break? If you decouple, your company's custom capabilities remain totally intact, allowing you to easily swap in a different model whenever you need to. Let's move to step 4 and see how this builds. Step 4 is cost. By decoupling your orchestration layer like we literally just talked about, you gain the power to mix and match. You can route simple, everyday tasks to cheaper, smaller models, and reserve the heavy, expensive models for complex reasoning. You bring together context, models, and tasks in the absolute most cost-effective way possible without ever sacrificing the quality of your output. Finally, step 5, compound. When you bring control, capability, choice, and cost all together, you create what is essentially a hill-climbing machine. It's a continuous learning loop. Every single prompt, every correction, every workflow makes your internal system slightly smarter. And that value compounds entirely within your firm rather than compounding for the AI provider. It's a total game changer.
Section 5, owning your intelligence, the Hayek perspective. Ultimately, this isn't just a technical architecture issue. It's a fundamental question of what it means to be a valuable company today. The economist F.A. Hayek talked about a specific type of intelligence, the knowledge of time, place, and circumstance. This is that localized, hyper-specific knowledge that no one else can possibly hold. It knows what your company values, how you measure success, and exactly how your specific team thinks. When you use AI, you are creating this intelligence, and what you create should, without a doubt, rightfully belong to you.
So as you go back to your day, whether you're managing a team or just scrolling through your feed, ask yourself honestly about the tools your company is using right now. Do you own your AI's intelligence, or does your AI own yours? It's a paradox we all have to confront, and the survival of your enterprise's unique value depends on getting the answer right. So what does this all mean for your team? Let me know what you think in the comments below.